And this is kind of a gist. We'll let John talk a bit about some of his new projects that are coming up here, and then take the floor for questions.
Hello, good morning, and wow, it's actually Monday already. This has been like the insanely fastest DragonCon because they put me on like 14 panels, which was great. So eating, sleeping, drinking, all those things one away. And I was also at the Decatur Book Festival with another author, Jeff Hirsch, who has for those of you who like post-apocalyptic stuff, there's a new author with a really great book called The 11th Plague. And so check that one out. Just came out, and it's a fantastic book. But here's what's happening in the world of me. How many of you have read the Joe Ledger series? Okay, cool. How many have read the Rotten Ruin books? Okay, about half. You guys have to catch up. Since I was here last time, The Wolfman, anybody read The Wolfman? Okay. Actually won an award. It won the award for Best Adaptation of a Movie. They announced it at San Diego Comic-Con, which was a kind of a funny thing because the movie made $9. And I think I bought that ticket. Okay, $18. It's a shame. I wrote the novel based on the original movie script by David Self, and David had written a brilliant script. It was subtle, it was layered, it had motifs built through it. It's intelligent and intellectual, and therefore Hollywood said, "Oh, can't have that shit." So they threw that out, and apparently they did shoot most or all of that script and didn't use the good parts. And the other thing is they originally did the special effects with Rick Baker. Now, Rick Baker, you guys know Rick Baker. If you don't, stand in the corner. American special effects guy for American Werewolf in London, for The Howling, for a whole bunch of other things. The guy who invented the werewolf transformation that wasn't stop photography and added a couple pieces of yak hair to Lon Chaney. And so he did all the transformation stuff, and it was incredible. He created a real monster. And Hollywood looked at it and said, "Wow, that's really, we're not going to use it, let's do CGI." So they CGI'd over the entire thing, and I think CGIing over Rick Baker is a moral crime. So you had a monster that wasn't scary suddenly. You went from one that was to one that wasn't. And all the character development that was so beautifully acted and beautifully written was taken out. Now, the unrated director's cut added 18 minutes of some of the character development, so it's a little bit better. But that original film, I hope the footage of the original film was there in one day. Benicio del Toro, that was his dream project to do that, because I guess he realized when he was 9 he looks like Lon Chaney Jr. So he actually owns all the props from the original movie. It's his favorite film, and he wanted to remake it. Maybe one day he will say, "Okay, I'm going to get all that footage and recut it the way they intended it." And who knows? Maybe Joe Johnston, the director, will come to his senses. He's the guy that also directed Captain America, which I loved. So maybe he'll do a director's cut at some point. But they did shoot the good stuff, and it was there. And it is not the fault of the actors, the screenwriter. I'm not even sure about the director, but they shot a good movie. Unfortunately, the version that came out, didn't really play to the right, to the audience in the right way. When it came out, when they gave out the press kits, they gave out copies of the novel. And by the way, I didn't see the movie until a week after the book was out, which is kind of weird. I just worked from the script. And when I was writing the book, Universal pretty much gave me a free hand to do what I wanted. I said, well, there are lots of things in here that don't translate to a book. And I had never done a movie adaptation before. So there's things like, it'll be a montage of 4 or 5 shots, but those are supposed to establish mood and so on. And you can't write in the middle of a novel a montage of 4 or 5 shots. So you have to actually build stuff. You have to know what the costumes are. You have to research the background, the history. A lot goes into a movie adaptation. And so they essentially allowed me to write what I wanted. So I wrote a Gothic novel. And it was nominated for Best Adaptation, which I was pleased, surprised, and honored to be nominated and to win. And Max Allan Collins and Peter David, read the awards at San Diego Comic-Con, and unfortunately I wasn't there. I was at Nikon up in Rhode Island. It was guest of honor up there with Sarah Langan. We had a lot of fun up there. basically getting drunk with Jack Ketchum, and it's basically writers acting badly. It should have been a reality show. It's kind of like the later part of Saturday and Sunday nights here at DragonCon. After the point where you're not sure if you're wearing a costume or you really have wings. It's that kind of a mental state, and when you know what I'm talking about.